One of the challenges when first starting with a new athlete is helping them realize how to train and not strain. Oftentimes when first starting, they'll try to make all workouts harder than they should be, whether it's harder on their easy run or their intervals much faster than they should be. They will often hear me say and write, train, don't strain. We often hear it's never about one workout. It's about the collective. It's about the consistency. So if we're hammering one workout and that diminishes everything we are able to do the next couple days after that, it's really doing us no good. So look at what you're doing cumulatively throughout the week and learn to train, not strain. And that's never more important than when you're running easy or when you're doing intervals or even threshold workouts. It's not about proving yourself on any one given workout. It's being consistent throughout the week, throughout the training block. Especially for your marathoners and ultra marathoners out there. If you're going too hard on any one workout, especially long runs, and now you're forced to need 3-4 days recovery, you're missing out on that consistent quality throughout the week. It's a common mistake I see. People making their super long ultra marathon training long runs too hard, and then again therefore Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is either off or they're not able to get more quality in because they need the recovery from that long run. It was almost like they have to recover from a race. For those of you still having trouble with heart rate, early season when we're base building, doing long, easy run for fat burning efficiency and aerobic efficiency, still getting questions about athletes having a hard time keeping their heart rate low when they're doing these nice zone 2, zone 3 runs. If this is happening to you, first and foremost, make sure you're testing and getting your heart rate zones accurate. We don't want to use a calculation. You want to do a field test that's in the book, okay? This is your fingerprint, okay? And everybody's fingerprint is different, okay? Your heart rate zones are specific to you. Do the field test to get accurate heart rate zones. So that could be one part of the problem, is that maybe your zones just aren't accurate, and that's why you're having a hard time remaining in zone 2, zone 3. But if you have the heart rate zones accurate and you're still having trouble, you have to be patient, okay? Heart rate goes up, stop and walk. Let it bring it down to low zone 2 and then begin to run again. And then when it goes up and elevates too high, stop and walk and bring it back down. So even though you're doing a walk run, your heart rate always is in the zone that we need it. And through time, you'll start running more and more and more. Okay, so give that a try and be patient. This also includes your rest intervals. When you're doing intervals like I am today, get your rest. They're there for a reason. Don't think they have to be always a run. I'm doing hill repeats today. I'm walking for the first half down to get recovery, and then I'll just kind of go into a nice easy jog, focusing on my foot strike. Whew. Feeling good, halfway there. Another area where athletes tend to strain rather than train is when doing threshold workouts. Okay, threshold with my heart rate training zones are right at zone 6 heart rate. And the key, just like in your easy runs, zone 6 is a very, very short heart rate beat window, 4 beats. Okay, so typically I'll assign with my athletes kind of giving them the window of zone 5, zone 6. But in my message to them, I'm always saying never higher than zone 6, because that takes us then out of threshold and into anaerobic energy, okay? And when we're training our threshold, it's crucial that we don't go over zone 6 and we don't strain. We want to keep it training in zone 6, because through time, just like your long easy run, you'll be able to go longer and longer and longer at threshold and get faster and faster. But again, if we go above that zone 6, we're defeating the purpose. So that's a great example of when going harder is not better. And for you ultra mountain runners who are doing a lot of vertical, super, super crucial to do your climbing, a lot of early season climbing under zone 6 or under your threshold. So it's no different than doing a nice long easy run, but now up a mountain where you're learning to become more and more efficient climbing and running up aerobically. Playing hero ball consistently is never sustainable. So watch how much you have to either internally think you have to prove something to yourself by going a little bit harder, or when you're in a group, how much you're pushing beyond what is doing the minimum to achieve the maximum. And this is really never more important or more apparent when we're at the track. Whether it's solo, we're with a group, how many times are you doing 400s and you make those first 3 or 4 400s too fast because you're fresh, and then the last 6 are much slower? So you end up working a lot harder and a lot slower. And that's what we want to avoid. We really want to avoid working harder, slower. So that's where it's really important to understand what proper paces are for you for that 400 or whatever the interval length is. So you're working at your own level of ability and being consistent with all 8, 10, whatever you're doing. Today I'm doing 10 2-minute hill repeats. And I'm using watts because I don't like to use speed on hills, and the interval is a little bit too short for heart rate, even though I'll monitor my heart rate and look at it when I get home. But I'm looking to be consistent with all 10. And I'm right at my VO2 max wattage, which is appropriate for a 2-minute interval. And I'm being consistent with all 10. So I'm training, I'm not straining. And that's the key, is to be consistent through them all rather than have 3 or 4 of the first great ones being a hero, and then everything goes downhill after that, so to speak. And it doesn't mean I'm not working hard. I'm working hard, but I'm working consistently hard at a level of effort that I can maintain. And that is the key. Where learning to become more efficient and understanding proper efforts in training, not straining, where that can really help you, maybe in 2 ways. Maybe it allows you to have better consistent quality throughout your week, allowing for good recovery in between your quality efforts, so you're able to sustain and actually improve your performance through time without running into diminishing returns or overtraining. Or secondly, maybe by straining too much, doing your long run too hard, or doing your intervals too hard, is that maybe that's creating a lot of fatigue and inhibiting you to actually run more during the week, which for a lot of us can be a huge benefit to performance, of being able to run more and more consistently throughout the weeks and increase our volume throughout the week. Okay, a lot of us can't run quite long enough to really gain our maximum capabilities. So look at your efforts, and look at if you're playing hero ball too much, and if you dial it back and be a little bit more appropriate, maybe that would allow you to run more consistently, which would be a huge benefit for your performance in your running. So try that out. Hope that helps. Always run strong. See ya.